All right, so we got the Microgate RT Pro set up here. We have it hooked into the computer of the live timing. We have sideways data running. We can see we already have some entries for our event. And what we're going to do is just kind of give a quick demo of the live timing. I have another phone open up over here. So this is going to be like a competitor or a spectator watching the times live. You can see on the phone, it checks for the updates every few seconds. So that way it doesn't, just refresh while you're like moving around, which is kind of annoying. So it tells you when it's going to update. So what we're going to do is we're going to queue up our cars. So how sideways data works is we're just going to queue up our cars in the same order they are in grid. So I'm searching by car name, but you can search however you want. So we're going to queue up car number 91. And then we're going to queue up Jordan. So we're going to search for Jordan. Because I don't remember their number, so that number. And we can see them, they're queued up in this order. And what's going to happen is the time's going to come in like that, basically. So we have open on our phone, we have the top row we see is Jordan here, and we're going to trigger a couple of starts. So we're going to pretend the cars go off. So first car off, second car went off, and then you see there's a finish, and we see the time comes in for Devin 433, and then a time comes in for Jordan 659, and it supports 3 significant digits. And then we can see Jordan comes in, and their time is there. It's live on the website. And we can see they're in first place because they're the only person in their class right now. But that's basically how it works. And then penalties, you can come in and add any time because radio traffic can be kind of crazy. So we can just do cone for these two, or you can do them while it's pending. And if you want to add gates, you just go up here and you can hit gate. And then you can hit S to save, and then you can see now it's plus 14 seconds. So it's very keyboard friendly as well. And if after you queue cars up, you can change the queue order. There'll be an option here to move them up and down when the cars are queued. Actually, just demonstrate that real quick. So Control Q to queue up a car. And then we can see over here under options that I can move up and down in queue. So that's just in case someone pulls up to the start and then the starter says, actually, I'm going to send someone else, and they back out. So you just reorder it that way. So there's a couple other cool things it supports. So just another quick demo. So there's always the case where someone walks through the timer by accident or something. So what sideways data can do is it can do a few things. With this particular timer, this timer is kind of interesting. And it's a unique Italian way in that it will just always output start and stop times. Some timers, they will track the start and then they will output a finish time. This is kind of unique in that it doesn't do that. It just sends everything it has to the computer, which is good for us because it means that we can do more. So on the computer side, what I can do is I can say I want to ignore any times below 30 seconds. And then what I can do is I can say ignore any double triggers of the timer within a 5-second interval, right? So I have the timing device setup window open here. There's under options. And what this will allow us to do is it will allow us to test the timer without having to queue up cars or anything like that. So on the timer over here, I'm going to be hitting start and stop. And it's not going to mess up the times on the website or anything. It's just debugging over here. So I'm going to hit start a couple times. So now what's going to happen, first off, you notice, is that the second start was ignored. And that's because I said 5 seconds, which is in milliseconds. You just divide by 1,000 because it's like that for extra precision. And sorry, I'm talking very fast. I had lots of coffee. But what we're doing is we're saying that any double triggers within this time frame are just ignored, right? So start's still running. That extra start was ignored. Let's say I'm towing a trailer, like the water truck or something. I don't know. You're racing the water truck. And the trailer itself did not trigger because of that other start. Now in the real world, what happens is the timer triggers because of dust, radio interference, and so on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger 2 finishes. So I got a finish and I got a time for 42.979. I'm going to trigger a finish again, and that's not an error. It's just telling me, hey, there was no start for that, so I just ignored the other one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trigger the start. Okay, and now say I'm barely sentient and I walk through the finish. All right, so now that finish was ignored. Your car on course is still being timed, right? That time is not messed up. So what's going to happen is we need to wait those 30 seconds, and then when we do our finish, and then the time's going to come in. And we're not going to wait 30 seconds because it'll make the video super boring. But basically, actually, you know what we can do is we can just lower this time to 3 seconds, just to the sake of the video. So we're going to do a start and a finish. And we see that our finish is less than 3 seconds, so it doesn't matter that someone walked through the timer, and then we trigger the timer again, and then we have our time Yeah. So basically, that's how that works. Feel free to ask any questions. We're still in active development, so we're fixing bugs and things like that. But so far it works. It's being used by organizers. So yeah, feel free to ask questions. Thanks.